There seems to be some sort of stigma in the tech world regarding the word refurbished. What does it mean? Are companies selling old, used, and damaged products at a slightly lower price? Not at all. Simply put, a refurbished device is a device that was returned to the manufacturer and is then tested, inspected, repaired, and then resold at a discounted price. Although buying refurbished from any company isn't always guaranteed to be a good idea, the great thing about Apple devices is that Apple is very particular about the items they sell being of the highest quality. This means that their devices are put through a much more rigorous refurbishment process than other companies. And in the end, they actually hold their refurbished devices to the same standard as their new ones. Now, I personally had never purchased a refurbished product before until about 5 months ago when I bought this refurbished MacBook Air. It's been my daily driver ever since, and I honestly couldn't be happier with the device itself or with the price that I paid for it. Let me show you some of the biggest pros and cons of buying refurbished devices from Apple. Number 1, price. The biggest pro in my opinion about buying refurbished has got to be the savings. At Apple, you save up to 15% off of most of the items that they sell at the Apple Store. MacBooks, iPhones, iPads, Apple TVs, Apple Watches, and even accessories. Obviously, Apple is a brand that isn't known for being the cheapest option, so buying refurbished is a great way to get that high quality without paying as high of a cost. Take my MacBook Air for example. The current price of my MacBook, if you bought it new, is $999. For the same device, I paid $849. That's $150 in savings, which is a considerable amount of money that you could instead put towards something like Apple Care or accessories. Number 2, equal or better quality. If you really think about it, refurbishment kind of acts like an extra layer of quality control. When you buy refurbished, the device that you get is guaranteed to have been thoroughly inspected, tested, and repaired to a T. When you buy a brand new tech device, fresh off the assembly line, it's actually a lot less likely to have been individually inspected, since QA testing might only happen every few hundred or few thousand devices. Apple's refurbished devices are equipped with genuine Apple replacement parts, and every single one of them is thoroughly cleaned and inspected. Refurbished iOS devices also come with a brand new battery, so you don't have to worry about getting a device that has a battery that's already worn or deteriorated. Every device also comes with all the accessories and cables you'd expect them to. Apple also impresses by giving their standard 1-year warranty to their refurbished devices, so they're guaranteed in the same way that brand new devices are. Plus, you have the option of adding Apple Care if you want that extra level of protection, even on a refurbished device. Lastly, any parts with scratches or blemishes are replaced with new, so you're not going to see any wear and tear on these devices either. For all these reasons, the device you get is pretty much brand new. 3. Sustainability. Another major consideration that you may not have thought of before is that buying refurbished is actually a lot more eco-friendly and sustainable. Instead of throwing return devices right into a landfill never to be used again, Apple can take these returns, bring them back to a like-new status, and then have them back in use. This generates a lot less waste and is better for the environment. To be honest, it's been very hard for me to come up with a list of cons for this. I did a lot of reading and scouring online to see if I could find anyone talking about major issues they've had with Apple refurbished devices, but even the people of Reddit seem to agree with me that there's not really a downside here. Here are a few cons that I could think up. Just keep in mind that these are more nitpicky than they are important. Number 1, different packaging. Although the unboxing experience with Apple refurbished products is still just as nice and satisfying, one thing to note is that the packaging isn't exactly the same as when you buy brand new. It will come in a plain white box, not the brand new retail packaging with the beautiful pictures. And it does clearly write out that it's refurbished. If you're looking for a device to gift, and for whatever reason you don't want the person to know that it's a refurbished device, then that's something to keep in mind. Number 2, it's pre-owned. Buying refurbished devices does mean that you're buying pre-owned or used. If you aren't the type of person who thrifts or likes to buy things secondhand, or if you believe that an inanimate object can carry attachments from previous owners, or really for whatever reason have an issue using a device that's already been owned by someone, that's something else to consider. Number 3, third-party vendors. This one is more of a warning than a con, but if you do choose to buy a refurbished device from Apple, make sure you're doing it directly from Apple. There are a lot of retailers, companies, and third-party vendors that are selling refurbished Apple products. However, refurbishment doesn't always mean the same thing to every company. Like I said, Apple's process is a lot more rigorous and in-depth, but a lot of other places can cut corners. That means that if you don't buy these refurbished devices directly from Apple, your device might end up having blemishes, scratches, an old battery, and it probably won't carry that same 1-year warranty. Based on all this, I personally will only be buying refurbished from Apple from here on out. In my eyes, there's really no downside. You get a great, basically new device at a cheaper price with the same warranty. Another pro tip is to pair your purchase with the 3% cash back you get if you have the Apple Card. And if you don't, check out my video on it to see if it might be a good fit for you. What are your thoughts on refurbished Apple devices? Do you think you'll consider going refurbished next time, or are you still going to stick to brand new? I have put some references in the description if you want to do more reading, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.